let's jump right into the first mindset, which is the mindset of the global citizen. So some of you might not be familiar with Ilham Kadri. She is the CEO of a company called Solvay. They have around 25,000 employees. They are a chemical company, chemical manufacturing company. And when I interviewed Ilham, she told me this really fascinating and interesting story that when she was a young girl growing up in Morocco, she was raised by her illiterate grandmother. And she was told as a young girl that she really only had two exits in life. And two exits, in the way that she explained it, basically meant you have two paths that you can pick in life. The first path that you have is from your parents' home to your husband's home. And the second path that you have is to the grave. Now, I want you to imagine you are a young child, and this is the message that you are grown up hearing, that those are the only two options you have, is one day you're going to die, or you can, marry somebody. And this was a very traumatic thing for Ilham to hear. And so growing up, she decided to create what she called a third exit for herself, which she did in the form of education. And so she studied math and science and physics and chemistry. She got a bachelor's degree. She got a master's degree. She got a PhD. And she had the opportunity to study and work in many different parts of the world, in the United States, in parts of Asia. She had the opportunity to work in parts of Africa, in the Middle East, in Europe. And so she was able to understand different cultures and backgrounds and perspectives and where people were coming from and how they viewed the world. And this became really very relevant for her because she shared a story with me how one time she was working at a company, and at the company, there were two different parts of the world, Saudi Arabia and the United States, that were trying to negotiate building a water treatment plant. And nobody was able to come to an agreement. The negotiations were stalling. Nobody could figure out what was going on. Lots of, they don't understand. Nobody could get the negotiation they couldn't agree to terms. And so finally Ilham came in and she was able to get everybody to negotiate. And it's precisely because she understood the culture and the values of the people of Saudi Arabia, and she also understood the culture and the values and the background of people in the United States. So the idea of being a global citizen means that you should surround yourself by people who are not like you, who don't have your same experiences, who don't have necessarily your same background, who see things differently than you might see them. And that's because, especially as a leader, this is crucial for you because it's going to challenge your perceptions. It's going to challenge how you view the world, how you make decisions. If everybody around you agrees to everything that you say, they see the same path forward that you see, they see the same challenges that you see, the same opportunities that you see, then why do you need them there? You want people to challenge you, to push you, to disagree with you, in a respectful way, of course. But you want that as a leader because that ultimately is what makes you a better version of you. So the global citizen mindset is really all about how do you surround yourself by people who don't necessarily think the way that you think? And also, how do you look at the big picture? How do you look at the big picture? So I'm a big fan of chess. You could probably see some chess pieces, sitting behind me there. And, one of the things, and I play competitive chess when I can. And one of the really interesting things about chess is that we tend to only focus on where the action is on the chessboard, right? Where can the pieces get attacked? Where are there potential threats? And oftentimes we miss a bishop or a queen or a rook sitting on the other side of the chessboard that is able to kind of swoop in and cause havoc. So part of having this global citizen mindset means to look at all 64 squares, to look at the entire chessboard. Don't just look at what's happening right in front of you. And this is a very, very crucial leadership skill. So surround yourself by people who are not just like you and try to look big picture. Look at all 64 squares. And here's a quote from Glenn Fogel. He's the CEO of Bookings Holdings. He's, again, one of the CEOs that I interviewed. And I love the quote because he summarized this very well. You can't be a leader of a world-size organization without having a world-size mindset. And I think especially in today's world, this is becoming very, very relevant.